Welcome to rSlash Relationships, where OP's husband kills the family dog. Our next Reddit post is from Tortured Daisy. My 6-year-old son found his dead dog at their dad's house. I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I'm pretty furious, and I just want to make sure that I'm not overreacting. My husband and I separated a couple of years ago. My ex-husband took our boy dog, and I kept the girl dog in the split. I asked for the boy dog back on multiple occasions. The dog was kept in his crate far too often, in my opinion. Then, his girlfriend kicked him outside when she got a cat. I wanted the dog to be in a home where he was loved, but I was denied each time. Well, the dog died the other day. My other son, who's 10, called to tell me. Apparently, my 6-year-old son walked in on the dog dead with flies buzzing around him after their dad picked him up for his weekend. The girlfriend was home the whole time, and the dog was just dead in the backyard. They claimed that he got into something and got sick, but that he died immediately? This was a previously healthy 3-year-old lab mix. This is the phone call that I got from my 10-year-old. Hi, Mommy. Our doggy got into something that he shouldn't have. He got really sick, and then he went to heaven. My gut is suspecting foul play. Also, my heart aches for my 6-year-old who witnessed that and is now traumatized. I don't understand what happened or how, but I do have my son's home now, albeit a little too late. How do I bring up the conversation of what actually happened with our dog? If my ex-husband or his girlfriend did something to the dog, I definitely don't want my kids around her. Do you think my son suspects her? He was grieving pretty heavily, so I doubt that he was involved. You know, OP, there's that saying, don't attribute to malice which can be explained with incompetence. I don't know if they went out and actually killed the dog, because if you're gonna kill the dog, why leave it around in your backyard to rot? My guess is that it's just basic negligence. They left the dog in the backyard, they didn't care for it, they didn't love it, they didn't feed it, they didn't give it water, and it just died because it wasn't having its basic needs met. That also explains why the dog was just left out to rot in the backyard, because they weren't going to spend time with the dog, they weren't interacting with it. Theoretically, if you're feeding a dog every day, then you'd see it often enough that it wouldn't start rotting in the backyard. Now, don't get me wrong, negligence is still unforgivable. It's just a different kind of unforgivable than intentionally killing the dog. But I am on your side, OP. You are not overreacting here. This level of casual disregard for a living thing is a huge red flag. Especially since your ex-husband and his girlfriend would rather torture a dog to death, either intentionally or through negligence, than give the dog to someone who would actually love it. Is that just pure cruelty? Are they doing this just to deny you something that you want because he hates your guts? If so, then this is just red flag stacked on red flag. All right, OP has a couple of updates. All right, let's see how this goes. My ex called me and woke me up before I headed into work. He claimed that he was unable to take the kids to school tomorrow and asked me if I could. If not, his girlfriend would take them. Since I don't trust her one iota, I told him I'll do my best to get off early and get them. I did ask for some clarification about the dog and how that situation came to be. He said that he already told me everything. I could hear the irritation and the defensiveness in his voice. But I know that's not true because he didn't tell me that my 6-year-old discovered the dog or that his girlfriend was home at the time. I asked him how our son was able to find the dog, and he said, "How am I supposed to stop him from running into the backyard?" This is when I asked if his girlfriend was home. He avoided the question initially and stated vaguely, "She had to go to work." But I repeated the question and he finally admitted, "Yes, she was there." So I followed with, "Didn't she have a chance to check on him?" He said, "She normally doesn't check on him." I was kinda dumbfounded at this point and didn't know what else to say, so I just ended the conversation. Then OP posted another update. I picked my kids up from my ex's house today since he wasn't able to take them to school. When I saw my ex, I asked him if they had found whatever it is the dog ate that killed him. He said, "No, what am I supposed to do?" and shrugged. I said, "Aren't you a little concerned that a poison strong enough to kill our dog is somewhere in or around your house and you don't know about it? The kids could get into it." He agreed and said that he didn't find anything. During the car ride, my kids revealed some things to me. One, their dad is telling them that rat poison was sprayed on the lawn and that's what killed him. My ex-husband didn't say this to me. 2, apparently the girlfriend was up all night trying to keep the dog alive, but they didn't go to the vet? 3. The scariest thing is that all of my kids are experiencing some sort of gastrointestinal upset. My youngest had 2 episodes of vomiting red stuff, and my ex knew about this but somehow forgot to mention this? Yo, what? Yes, I'm taking them all to the doctor to run every test ASAP. Yo, this is okay. This story is taking a turn. Update number 3. The doctor's appointment is done and a blood panel was drawn. Child Protective Services has started investigating and they're still trying to work out the necropsy on the dog. I got really upset when my ex called me to ask, why are the kids at the doctor? And I told him. I asked for his girlfriend's last name. He wouldn't give it. He asked me why he didn't tell me that our son was throwing up, and he said that he didn't need to. Well, joke's on him because I made sure to add to our parenting plan that any illness or injury needs to be reported. He knows that I'm on a warpath now. My attorney has been apprised of the situation and wants to get all of my kids into therapy. Then OP posted another update. I feel like I'm losing. Child Protective Services stated that the claims made don't meet my state's definition of child abuse and neglect, so they're not opening a case. Between yesterday and today, I've called at least 15 vets. They said it's too late. They said that after the dog has been dead for 2 days, any meaningful results are futile. Even my kids want to know the answer, but it's just not in the cards anymore. I'll forever wonder. But I've been enjoying watering the flowers that he's been buried under. I find myself wanting to go see him and spend time with him often. I'm glad he's home. And please no hate. I feel stupid enough for not finding some emergency vet place somewhere to do necropsy immediately. But the fact is that I didn't suspect foul play until after he was already buried. Also, I work 12-hour overnights every weekend. I'm exhausted mentally and physically. I just couldn't make it work. I have no help. I'm waiting for our Humane Society to open up to see about reporting them for animal neglect. Although the state website says I'd have to witness the neglect to open a case, I'm still gonna try. Next, I'm gonna file a police report, or try to. Seems like I'm just losing every which way. It'll still be 2 to 4 days for my kid's tox screen to come back. Man, this is a really crazy sentence that I'm about to say, but I almost wish that the tox results come back saying the kids have been poisoned, because if they were poisoned, then that means that OP can get them away from their terrible, terrible father. Either intentionally or unintentionally, this guy killed his dog, and then he let his kids get, I guess, poisoned. Unless the vomiting up blood is just some weird coincidence, which I guess could be the case. Our next Reddit post is from Calicombe. Me and my boyfriend are in our mid to late 20s. This past weekend, my friend, partner, and I went on a trip. 3 members of our group were playing Truth or Dare while the others were resting or whatever. I wasn't a part of that group, but my partner was. The game ended, and it wasn't anything crazy according to the other 2 friends involved. So the next night, he texts my friend to play Truth or Dare again. She agrees since it was a friendly back and forth the night before. They play a few rounds, and during this time, my boyfriend brings up a couple of times that what happens during this Truth or Dare stays between them. It eventually leads to him daring her to make out with him. Once she rejected the idea and said that she would never do something like that, he steps back and says that it was just a joke. They go their separate ways, and my friend tells my other friend what happened. I don't know what to do. My friends believe that it's a reason to end things. He tried to cheat and didn't succeed because he chose the wrong girl. I would have never expected something like this from him, especially to try something like this with my best friend. He's super involved in my life and my family's lives. He knows all my friends, and he's been accepted with open arms. But I know 100% when it comes to my loved ones that there is no coming back for him. It'll just never be the same. I'm hurt and still in shock. I'm very angry, and I'll talk with him on Friday. I need an opinion from an outsider. What would you guys do in this position? I need help. OP, this is a pretty straightforward story of a guy who tries to cheat, failed, and got caught. He's a cheater, OP. Just dump him and move on. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. I'm a 22-year-old woman, and my partner is a 24-year-old male. We joined our friends on a trip to a beach to try acid for the first time. There were only 5 of us, 2 boys and 3 girls, as in 2 couples and 1 extra girl. We took acid while there was still sunlight because apparently it takes ages to take effect, and we spent this time drinking beer near our tents with a campfire going on. Mind you, as we were descending into tripping balls on acid, we were also getting quite drunk. I'm very lightweight, so I didn't have much to drink. My partner, on the other hand, had plenty. When the acid started to kick in, it was fun. It was funny. I felt like the sand was grassy, and I kept hearing Billie Eilish singing to my ear when really it was the wind blowing so hard that it was whistling. This is where it goes downhill. Maybe like 4 to 5 hours later, I decided to go on a walk and I had 2 friends join me because I couldn't go to sleep. My partner wanted to stay in our tent because he wasn't feeling well, so I said sure. Our other male friend who was coming to walk with me told his girlfriend to stay with my boyfriend so that she could look after him in case anything goes wrong. We thought that all was well, until we got back. When we returned, the first thing I heard was obnoxious moaning and breathing. Me and the other guy panicked, so we immediately went to my boyfriend's tent, and lo and behold, both naked with his girlfriend on top of my boyfriend. I ended up vomiting and passing out on the shore, but I heard a lot of yelling and crying. I woke up in my tent and saw my boyfriend sleeping next to me. Honestly, I had to really think whether I hallucinated him cheating or that it really happened. Our other friend's girlfriend had apparently left during the night without letting any of us know, so there were only 4 of us left. My partner's excuse was that he genuinely thought the girl was me. The smell, the eyes, the hair, etc. When I realized that it was all real, I just cried, and I've been crying since. I've never felt so broken, betrayed, confused, and hurt at the same time. I want to make excuses for him and think that maybe it was just a mistake, but he full-on cheated. 4 years down the drain, just like that. I've been staying at my sister's since we got back, but he hasn't stopped texting or calling me to apologize and say that he's disgusted by himself and that he genuinely thought that it was me. I haven't spoken to him since, but I'm so tempted to. I miss him, but I'm just so hurt. I'm so confused. Should I break up with him for it? He's been planning to propose to me for a month. He apparently made a custom order for an engagement ring to suit what I specifically liked. I told him he can forget about proposing because he messed up big time. Dropping the proposal bomb on me just left me all the more confused and torn. How am I supposed to break up with him when he's been planning this all along? I feel like a butthole now, even when I know that I'm not. He knows that I've been waiting for him to propose for over a year now. Down in the comments, we have this story from Impossible Disc. I dropped tons of acid. I was tripping balls with an ex in my early 20s, and my girlfriend morphed into her dad while we were passionately hugging. It was horrendous stuff. I believe this could happen in the dark quite easily, and I'm genuinely perturbed at the folk claiming to be acid experts claiming that it can't. I'm so sorry this happened to you both, and I hope you both find a path to happiness with or without each other. But please let us know what happens when you let him out of the box. Yeah, I'm on this guy's side. I do actually agree that it sounds like it was an accident. Now, even if it was an accident, that doesn't mean that OP should necessarily forgive the boyfriend or that everything is just, no harm, no foul, because still it happened. And if OP decides she's not okay with that, then that's her right. I think I'm just going to chalk this up to just an accident. It's similar to just getting in a car wreck or getting mugged. It's just a really sucky, unfortunate thing that happened to this relationship that, I guess it could have been stopped if they hadn't done drugs, but who would have seen that coming? It is possible that he's cheating intentionally and he's using drugs as a cover, but my guess is that that's not the case. Our next Reddit post is from I Have Such Bad Luck. I went to high school with this girl who's 5 years older than me. We're now both in our 20s and we're both female. I wasn't really friends with her, however, we were friendly with each other. Fast forward 3 years. She reached out to me and wanted to get coffee. I, of course, was eager to do so. She's always been a little different, and I thought that she might just have some learning disabilities, which she confirmed with me and told me about. I've hung out with her just twice within the past couple of months. Both times, I picked her up from her college campus and then drove her to coffee and food places and then back to her home, which is about 15 minutes away, just to drop her off. Everything's been going well, and she asked me to go to some concerts with her. She normally initiates. Again, we've only hung out twice since high school. Both times, I dropped her off at home and came inside and had a nice conversation with her mother. Not too long, maybe 15 minutes each time. Then I left right after. Everything seemed fine and it's been pretty casual, nothing crazy. So this morning, my mom's been talking to a new friend, Jill. Jill knows this other girl in her family. My mom mentioned that I'd reconnected with my friend, told Jill my name, and Jill said something shocking. She had this look on her face, and she said that my friend's mom said something to her husband. Jill said that her husband was talking with my friend's mom, and that the mom said, and I quote, "My daughter is extremely vulnerable. In fact, she just reconnected with a high school friend," insert OP's name, who's grooming her. I cannot believe this. I have so many emotions going through me right now. All I wanted was to be nice to this girl, and now it's going around that I'm grooming her? How? Why? I'm worried that this false accusation could affect my life. I never even initiated any of these hangouts. It seems like her mom made all this up on her own because my friend is texting me like normal. Apparently, my friend's mom also accused another lady of this same thing, so it seems like it's a pattern. What do? Do I just ghost my friend? This is the most disturbing thing that's happened to me. I wouldn't wish being falsely accused of something like this on anybody. I'm extremely paranoid now that the mom has told everybody her lie. Also, to be clear, I am 100% heterosexual and have a boyfriend, which makes this whole thing even more confusing. I'm also without a doubt positive that my mom's friend said that. She has a reputation for calling random women groomers of her daughter. Okay, this took a weird turn. I almost wonder if your friend doesn't have a mental disability, but instead she has some kind of weird psychological trauma because her mom is weird and abusive. So maybe she's just kind of weird because she grew up under such bizarre circumstances of a mom who's constantly accusing people of weird stuff. And I don't know, this mom's just a weirdo. OP, I think the smartest thing to do is to just text your friend why you're blocking her and then just block her and move on with your life. It doesn't really seem like you're close enough with her that breaking off the friendship would be terribly traumatic for either one of you. But at the same time, I feel like she has a right to know because she didn't do anything wrong, her mom did. And if her mom is sabotaging her relationships, she has a right to know that. That was r/relationships, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.